So, who am I? Sometimes when I'm working on being, just being, being okay with just being, feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, like writing or reading or arting. But a reader and a writer and a artist, these were things that I learned as a young person to cope with life. These were things that I had to do to be okay. So now that I'm okay with just being, it's this interesting new tenuous edge of being okay with just existing. That being enoughness for me. I think it's culture that drills that story in that I need to be productive to be of my time of use to even myself. But breathing slows me back down and reminds me that we are not here to be of the way things are. We are here for the way things are soon to be. That is new and tenuous to stand on and feels shifting because we know that it is, because we know that change is inevitable and the only thing that's constant. What else am I? I'm someone who hungers and looks for community. But even that, I have to understand, is an ever shifting, changing thing. And if I expect it to be solid forever, I will always be disappointed and hurt by those that I love. But that's not freedom for myself nor them. I accept this too. So then, if I'm not a community member of any particular group for any long, since everything is temporary anyway, even if I did get a long lasting family, we'll pass through to the next eventually. So, one of my dear friends telling me that they almost take comfort in the fact that it's the only thing that they know for sure they can count on. And so that they almost look forward to it just because it's a fact that the end comes for each of us, and therefore nothing here is permanent. So I'm not either. So who am I now? I wanted so much to be a helper, an altruistic giver of my services and time and energy and influence and catalytic encounterisms that I seem to embody when I'm most me. Catastrophic as it can seem when the aftermath looks gritty up close. But I trust and believe that the long view is intentional and better because of my attention and my striving to better my experience and hopefully thereby the experience of everyone is the hope. But even that is helping and not being free to be myself here now. My last name is Freed, father given and born into, and only recently have I admired it and thought about it. A friend said, Tiffany is Freed. And I said, oh, I've never thought of that. He said, really? You've had that name your whole life and you never considered that? A few years ago, and then just recently, a dream came to me and said, why do you think that you don't deserve freedom? And I woke up going, I didn't realize that I thought that. When I talk about this path of awareness and, the signs come to us, it's just a matter of being able to pick them up and not dismissive of our own intuitional intellect. I love this now. I've talked before about epigenetics, the trauma that gets passed through our DNA, that our generation is here to intentionally, inwardly acknowledge and, move through, evolve. But then someone said, but then it's all the ways. You didn't just get the trauma, you got the wisdom and the knowledge in your DNA as well, handed down to you. And that's something that we need to give more credence to, that that's real, and we are each our own authority for our own lives. Trying to live in this cultural box that pits us against each other for this like competitive, conflict based storytelling mode of, I don't know, dog eat dog, get the things to get to the higher rung of the ladder. But we can now see that that's just a mirage put up before us to get us to keep perpetually moving in that direction of money gathering and stuff accumulating and, future worrying about how we can make it, while our planet dies, because they keep us in these smaller views, uh, less adjusted for larger things. I still trust and believe that inner achievement and the inner path, for me at least, is a way that I can help the larger cause. But more than a helper to other causes, who am I? I made a whole video once to explain myself to you, my past, and my the story that I've told until now, until the very end when I realized I had never hit record. So I'll spare you the details because that's just what I'd put in a book. What I want to put in a video is something that will, I guess I am a helper, because something that will help you, but also because this helps me too. I'm learning to be alone. Cats help. It's new. I feel I've always scrounged for people to enjoy me. I think all this started because I watched the finale of Community, which is a fantastic show if you haven't given it a shot. Yet I highly recommend it. It really grows. And at the end, to talk about what Community is and the tenacious temporariness of this all anyway. And so at the end, we really only, have ourselves. And it also talked about how TV is like a friend that you just let be with you. I thought about that I don't have other friends that I can do that with, just sit there and observe each other, or have one observe the other, and not have to do anything or, be getting anywhere or saying anything or filling the space together in any sort of way other than by just existing. We can do that with cats. They're pros. And they've helped me slow down too, I think, and to allow myself to just be okay. If there's a cat on me, I don't have to get up and go do something more. I'm reminded always that just breathing is a wonderful use of time and space. As I am now 31, I understand that I have to stretch and move more because this body spaceship I've been given requires that. I must do my dishes and my laundry, and those are never ending tasks. And of course, it's my weekend, and I will go do my job, and that pays for all the space and warmth and water and electricity to do things such as this. So I'm grateful for all of these things, which is something I've been in the practice of, writing down 3 grateful things every day in hopes that it raises my vibration in that direction instead of worry and woe to belief and thankfulness and love. That on this path of law of attraction and manifestation, that is the answer to attain the future that I so desire. But also accepting where I am at now. Acceptance has been the crux of the last 2 years. I've been really thinking a lot about and how to better do that. But even that is a doing, and that is always the circle that I come to, in the spiral that goes up and down of understanding and why even, Are many of you out there like this, thinking about the big things and what is the purpose? I wish I could just be the kind of person that could contentedly watch TV and pay the bills and not think twice about the taxes and the more than just what's in my box and outside my window and on the screen. I understand, though, that I no longer have to carry that suffering like a martyr, and I'm working on finding joy. Called my friend and said, I just want to find more joy. So, do you have her address? She's a finicky lady. She shows up and does what she will, and she doesn't hang around all the time, but to enjoy it when I find it, even when it's in small moments of sitcom levity or cat purrs or I don't know, anything. And that's individualized and particular for each one of us. So, who are you? Who am I is maybe the never ending life journey. Like maybe that's the whole thing. It's a unfolding, ever evolving adaptation of who we want to be and who we are and who we'll transition to in the meantime. I've been resting a lot and working on accepting this as well, allowing and receiving, and you know, I trust you're all on your individual journeys. And I guess this is just to say that, like, hey, this year's been squirrely and short so far, but long. I trust that it's all transformational for all of us. So keep breathing, keep feeling through. Know you're not alone in this path of internal evolution. You know, we're doing this alone, but together. And that's the community that I feel, even though we are not together physically, energetically, beyond words. That's what I almost have to word to be able to remind myself that I know. I remember with all of you. We have ways and words and worlds to go, but I trust and I believe and I accept that we'll achieve in our lifetimes. When we're older, I'm sure, but this is the it, you know, this is the doing of it. Is what is that thing? It said, like, if you're so concerned that if you time the time travel paradox, that if you were to go back in time and step on a butterfly, it would irrevocably change the course of the future. They said, but the present is the past of the future, so why don't you think that your small actions have the same sort of effect right now? So live like there's a tomorrow. I'm there with you. I love you as always. Comments or questions or whatever. I think I'll just keep making these. So send me a like if you like that. And have a beautiful day.